Hello people, today we will be discussing about trigonometry, one of the most basic and as well as the most complex chapter in class 10, 11 and 12. So what are we waiting for? Let's jump right in. Wait, before going into trigonometry, we must know a concept or a theorem by Mr. Pythagoras. You might know it as Pythagoras theorem. Wait a second. Pythagoras theorem. You might have learned it in your previous geometry classes, but if you didn't, let's just get a quick recap. So for that, we need a right angle triangle which is having a right angle opposite to the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is the largest side of the triangle, right angle triangle to be precise, and we have two sides, A and B. So what does this Pythagoras theorem state? It states that the square of the hypotenuse, which is h squared, equal to the sum of the squares of a and b, which is a square plus b square. So to prove the statement, we will have a small example. So for example, we take h is equal to 5, a equal to 3 and b equal to 4. This is known as a triplet, Pythagorean triplet, one of the very common examples for teaching. So hence is 5, which is 5 squared equal to 4 squared plus 3 squared. So 25 equal to 16 plus 9, 25 is 25. Hence proved. We have x squared equal to a squared plus b squared. So if you take any three numbers which satisfies this right angle this triangle, that is Pythagoras theorem. Good. So we know what is Pythagoras theorem, so let's jump into trigonometry. So the basic concept in trigonometry is trigonometric ratios. Trigonometric ratios. So we have 6 trigonometric ratios, namely sine, cosine, tangent, I don't want to waste time, tangent, cotangent, secant, cosecant. So you must have seen in your books that these names are not provided, but there is something else, like only 3-letter words. So the abbreviations for sine, cosine are sine, cos, this is tan, and this is cot, secant is sec, and cosecant is cosec. So if you observe, wait a second, so that's 6. So if you observe, out of the 6 trigonometric ratios, 3 are just as the same as the other 3. See, this is sine, and this is co plus sine. This is tangent, this is co plus tangent. This is secant, this is co plus secant. So the other 3 are nothing but, there is only an extra of co. That's it for the trigonometric ratios. Now, we have to know what is sine, cos, tan, cot, sec, cosec, right? So let's go there. So for that, we need a right angle triangle, which is what right angle triangle is. Just have discussed in the Pythagorean triplet or Pythagorean theorem. This is h, a, and b. Perfect. So now we need the values of sine, cos, tan. So what does these things do? I mean, sine, cos. Why are they even used? So now let's jump in. Sine first. So the sine is like defined as the now wait a second, I forgot one thing. We should take a theta. Right? You can take a theta even here, but for we are learning for the first time, so for our convenience and your convenience, we'll take theta down. So it'll be easy to understand. So the sine is defined as the opposite side of theta. See, what is opposite side of theta? Give me a sec. Drop this thing. opposite side of theta is this, which is A, right? Opposite side of theta, opposite of theta divided by pi over hypotenuse. Right. So the sign is, so we know the hypotenuse is h and this is A. So in terms of writing in variables, we can write sine equal to A by h, which is the opposite over hypotenuse, right? Opposite over hypotenuse. So get this fixed in your mind. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, opposite over hypotenuse, opposite. Okay, good. Next is we completed sine. Next is cos. So sorry, I'm writing is a bit bad. Cos. So cos is the same, but it's, you know, see, this is these are the three sides of the rectangle triangle. So cos is the adjacent, you know, this is a theta. So to theta there are two adjacent sides. One is hypotenuse and one is B. But we want the adjacent of theta such that it doesn't contain hypotenuse. So we have two, which is hypotenuse and B. So the one that doesn't contain hypotenuse is B. So we'll write adjacent of theta and over same hypotenuse. I'm writing height for short, which is equal to adjacent of theta is B by hypotenuse h. Right? Good. So we completed sine, cos, and next we are going for the tan. I'm going to rub this. I hope you have noted this down. If not, you can pause the video and note it down. Good. Oops, I have the trig ratios. Write again. Good. Trig ratios. Tan. So we completed cos. Next we are going into tan. Tan. So tan is like this opposite of hypotenuse, adjacent of hypotenuse, but tan is a bit different. Tan is opposite of theta, which is A. We write opposite of theta over adjacent of theta. You know, it's a bit different, but that's not gonna, so, you know, it's easy. A bit different, that's it. Which is opposite is A over hypotenuse. Got it? And we got the first three, sine, cos, and tan, and we have the next three, which is tan is cotan. Cotan. We have cotan. Sorry, we should write cot, right? We have cot, we have secant, and we have cosecant. So these three are also defined the same way as opposite of theta or by adjacent of theta, like in the same way theta opposite by hypotenuse, adjacent by hypotenuse. But these three are very, you know, they can be defined in a more easier way. So we can write cot as 1 over tan, or the inverse of tan, and secant as 1 over cos, right, or the inverse of cos. Cosecant is 1 over sine. That is much easier, right? So 1 over tan is, see, you know, tan is A by B. Cot is the inverse of tan, which is B by A, right? And next we have the secant, which is inverse of cos. We know cos is B by h. So the inverse of B by h, pretty easy, h by B. And cosecant, the same way, A by h, inverse of A by h is h by A. So yes, we have learned what are the trigonometric ratios, the sine, cos, tan, cot, secant, cosecant. So in the next video, you will be learning about the values of the same trigonometric ratios for different angles, and you will know what are the units for angles. There is radians, there is grades, there are degrees. So in the next video, we'll meet you. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe, share, and like, okay? And hit the bell icon. Bye bye.